I'll call this meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is the invocation and pledge of allegiance by Commissioner Charles Otto.
If everybody would just pray along with me or just have a private moment of silence. Lord, thank you for the opportunity we have this evening to conduct the business of our citizens. We thank you for the peace and safety in which we meet to perform our tasks. Help us to make wise and fair decisions. Help us remember we are privileged to gather here peacefully and without fear to do our business. Please protect those who daily ensure our way of life, our first responders, our men and women in uniform, the families who support our protectors, and all our fellow citizens who in wartime and in peacetime sacrifice here and abroad so that we can meet here twice a month to serve our citizens. Let us honor their memory with civility and respect for each other this evening and always. Let the thoughts and words of everyone present in this room reflect what you expect of us. Lord, we appear to be on the brink of a winter storm. Watch over and protect Fayette County and all who may or will be in its path. We thank you for the blessings you have bestowed on us. We thank you for the staff in Fayette County who take pride in serving our community. We humbly ask that you continue to bless our nation and our county. And may we always remember that our service does not begin nor end in these chambers, but continues each moment of every day. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. All right, next item is the acceptance of the agenda. May I have a motion?
Move to accept the agenda.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Next is proclamations and recognition. And the first is the recognition of Mr. William A. Beckwith as an outgoing board member for the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Planning Commission. I'll turn it over to Debbie.
Thank you. Tonight we're honored to recognize and thank Mr. William Beckwith for 30 years of dedicated service on both the Planning Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals. Mr. Beckwith has played a vital role in shaping thoughtful growth, protecting community values, and making fair and responsible land use decisions. His willingness to serve has made a lasting impact on the county and its residents, and we are deeply grateful for his knowledge, professionalism, and dedication to the community. On behalf of Fayette County, we extend our sincere gratitude and appreciation for your decades of service to Fayette County. It has truly made a difference, and we have a small little award to give you. But Deborah and I are blessed to have been able to work with him, and we really appreciate his guidance over the last 3.5 years.
Coming up, Mr. Beckwith. I think you're going to have to use this one.
You want to say something, then I get the last one. Back in the past century, right before the Olympics came to Atlanta, I was asked by the Board of Commissioners to go over and do a deep dive into the planning and zoning ordinances. I was one of a group of, I guess, 4 people who went through it, and we did went through every single page. And one of those folks was a young attorney by the name of Eric Maxwell. I think he's got a side hustle now in politics. But I do appreciate everyone who's helped. Debbie, most recently, Debbie and her staff, the attorneys who have kept us straight, kept us out of jail, starting with Bill McNally, Dennis Davenport, and most recently, Allison Cox. Over the time I've been a member of the boards, it's live. There have been 5 members of the board. I was only one of 5, so I do appreciate the opportunity, and I do feel good about my 20% contribution to the math. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And Bill, I do notice that you've got an Auburn tie on, so that's a good thing. He stole a little bit of the thunder. I first met Bill around 1994, 1995. This county commission, board of commissioners, appointed him and I know that another one was an engineer, and I can't remember what one. Dan Davis was there, and there was another one, and we were charged with, and we went through ordinances, and we tried to clean them up as best we could. So I've been dealing with Bill for the 30 years that he mentioned, which is unusual that you get to do it for that long. Out of that relationship, he and Dan Davis nominated me to carry the torch for the Atlanta Olympics. When it came into Fayette County, I was the person that carried it to the Peachtree City Hall, and just marched right in there. It happened to be noon on the Friday before the Olympics started, and all the news media was there. And I was interviewed by ABC, NBC, CBS, some French. I don't speak French, but I was interviewed by French, and I did the best I could. I didn't say French fry or anything like that, but thank you for the 30 years. I know your position is not one where you are recognized an awful lot, and it takes the right person to do it. And I'm certainly thankful that we had you for 30 years to do that.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you. Thanks, sir.
And next, we have the recognition of Mr. John H. Culbreth Sr., also as an outgoing member of the Planning Commission. If Mr. Culbreth is here and like to come forward.
I had anticipated that he would be here, but he apparently is delayed, but I would like to recognize him. We want to thank Mr. Culbreth for 12 years of service on the Planning Commission. He served as a board member. Sometimes he served as their chair or their vice chair, and his commitment to the county is reflected in his leadership and dedication to the community. Serving on the Planning Commission requires a commitment of time to review and carefully consider each case, and his contributions have made a lasting impact on the community. On behalf of Fayette County, we would like to thank him for 12 years of commitment, leadership, and public service.
Yes, absolutely. Sure. Commissioner Russo, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me recognize the contributions also of district residents, John Culbreth. I've known him for a number of years. We served together also in Fulton County in terms of our public service to the greater community. So thank you to John. Hopefully he'll have an opportunity to review the tape and know that we very much appreciate the service that he provided to the county. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Russo. Next, we have accountability court updates and strategic planning efforts for FY26 and 27 from Judge Jason Thompson. Y'all can see we got a little audio visual challenges tonight, but we'll try to fix that, Judge. have the IT department working on it. They're over there right now.
If you could just imagine the best audio, a round of applause. This is an update on our accountability court. And when the video is playing, I'll pause, but thank you to the board, thank you to the staff, thank you for Fayette County. If I haven't met you, my name is Jason Thompson. I stand before you today on behalf of our team. Jordan Crawford is our case manager. Nope, you're not. You're our accountability court coordinator. Stacy Sitton is our case manager, and we are part of a team that you allow us to provide services for people in Fayette County, specifically the DUI drug court and the Veterans Treatment Court. And there's so many members of our team that are volunteers in our community. We have volunteer members that serve on our board of advisors, but we have volunteer veterans that serve in our court. For our Veterans Treatment Court, there are so many of our Fayette County retired veterans. They go through the program that you're going to see on TV in just a few moments. They go through the program with a veteran that's in the participant, and they serve as their battle buddy. We might match Army with Army, Marine with Marine, Navy with Navy. And again, they sit as their battle buddy, and they make sure they go through this 2-year program for accountability. So our goal today is not to ask anything, but just to update the board, the staff, and the community on what we're doing in Fayette County State Court for these courts. This year, in 2025, we had 21 graduates. That's 21 people who worked really, really hard to change their lives, change their behaviors, so they can lead a clean and sober lifestyle for them and their families. That brings a total of 117 graduates since we've started the program. I'm proud to say that Jordan and her team this year, they were recognized by the state body, the Council of Accountability Court Judges, for the Data-Driven Award, and they won a cash prize. Now, it's not cash that goes to the employees as much as they have earned it. It is cash that goes into the program so that we can actually find out tools to make our program even more efficient. We have also been recognized as a peer review team. We've been asked as our court to go around the state of Georgia and review the other courts to make sure that they up to the standards that we want in the state of Georgia. And with everybody's help on staff, with the Board of Commissioners staff, this year we're going to be rolling out Fayette County's own Treatment Services Center, which is going to be right on Lee Street. It's an abandoned building that was not being used, and through Mr. Rapson's effort, we were able to buy that building at very low cost. And I have to point out, Larry in the back, who's retiring, and we don't want you to retire, Larry, he helped us tremendously with getting that fit, so it'll be a great facility for our participants. So I just wanted to come here and brag on the team and thank you for the efforts and show you. It's just a 2-minute clip on what it looks like when people work hard and they choose to go into the program. And if it doesn't roll, at least you can see the video, even if you don't hear the audio. So, can we just let it roll?
A special graduation in Fayette County.
It is the 22nd graduation of the county's DUI court, where defendants who've been charged with drunk driving work to rebuild their lives and their families. Fox 5's Doug Evans has the story.
This story is not just about the changing of a life, but the changing of a community, both made better by the accomplishments of these graduates.
You ready? Yes, sir. You ready? Yep. All right, good job.
This is the DUI drug court in Fayette County. 3 graduates celebrated on this night by their family and friends and local leaders, and some even by the police departments that arrested them for drunk driving. It was started in 2017 by Fayette State Court Judge Jason Thompson.
Because we didn't have any other tools in our toolbox other than jail. But we wanted to find a way to treat cases differently where the root issue was a substance use disorder or mental health issue. So we started the DUI drug court.
They must all go through intensive supervision, drug testing, rehab and recovery programs. The alternative is jail, which some of them have been to many times before. Alex Nugent has 2 DUIs on his record, he says. After receiving his diploma, his parents thanked the program for giving them their son back.
So this was actually really important. I could have chosen to stay in jail and done my time, and once I got out, I'm done, over with, nothing. This program allowed me to use tools that I would have never had, and I can now live a life without having to jump back into the, frenzy and live a better life.
Georgia Supreme Court Justice Verda Colvin was the guest speaker.
This court, DUI drug court, has allowed each of you to become a better version of yourself. Investing in yourself is the best investment you can ever make.
Since 2017, the DUI drug court has graduated 117 participants and saved taxpayers an estimated $4 million in incarceration fees.
We want them to leave here knowing that they can do whatever they set their mind to. And now they have the tools to be successful in whatever way they want to. And so they're leaving here today starting their own business. They're reuniting with their family. So many great success stories. I'm proud of you. I'm going to miss you.
I'll miss this.
In Fayette County, Doug Evans, Fox 5 News.
So I just want to say thank you for letting us do that. Thank you for supporting us. It takes everybody doing it together. We get the support from the commission. We get the support from the staff. We get the support from the community. So thank you for letting us do it. This community is great. We have folks like Mr. Beckwith working 30 years on that. Thank you very much. Mr. Colberth and everybody here works together to make these programs great. So I just wanted to come up here and just say thank you. We got great things in mind. We're going to try to do it even bigger and better, and we're always available if you have any questions, but thank you for supporting us, and that's why we came here tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge Thompson. Next on the agenda is a presentation by Fayette County's auditing firm, Nichols, Cawley & Associates, LLC, of the results of the fiscal year 2025 annual audit.
Good evening. I'm Cheryl Weinman, the CFO for the Finance Department here at Fayette County, and we are here again this year for our auditors, Nichols Cawley. This is Greg Chapman. He's the senior auditor partner that manages our audit, and he's going to present some of the results that they found in the audit. And I want to mention too that this is the 11th year that we've had an unmodified opinion, which means good. So I'll let him move forward. Thanks.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Good evening. As Cheryl said, my name is Greg Chapman. I'm the lead governmental partner for Nichols Cawley. We are a public accounting firm with 8 offices across Georgia. We serve governmental entities of all sizes, from very small to very small cities and authorities to county governments such as yourself. So, the responsibilities of our audit is to render an opinion on the financial statements. So the financial statements are management's responsibility. We do assist with the preparation of those financial statements, but at the end of the audit, management does have to review and take responsibility for those financial statements. Our responsibilities, as I said, is to perform an audit in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States, and as a governmental entity, we have to follow governmental auditing standards, which just adds a layer of additional requirements on us, which include independence requirements and additional educational requirements, continuing education that we have to follow under governmental auditing standards. Our objectives are to provide reasonable assurance, not absolute. We can't look at every transaction or you would never get us out of here. We'd be here every day looking over Cheryl's shoulder at every transaction, but to do sampling and testing to provide reasonable assurance that the financial statements in your annual comprehensive financial report are fairly presented in all material respects. As Cheryl said, the report on the basic financial statements, we're in here for a week and we do several weeks of work from our office, but at the end of the day, we provide you with several 3 or 4 pages of reports, and that's basically what you're paying us to provide, and that's what these 2 reports are. And the first one is the report on the basic financial statements, which is at the front of your comprehensive report, and that report provided an unmodified opinion, as Cheryl mentioned, which is a clean opinion, and that is the highest level of assurance you can get on financial statements, and that just purely means what I said, that those are fairly presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. The second report we issue is, because you are a governmental entity, we do follow governmental auditing standards, we have to issue a second report on internal control over compliance. Doesn't mean that we issue an opinion on internal control, but we do have to report on our testing or our evaluation of internal control as far as developing our audit procedures And should we identify any controls, we have to report those to you. Happy to report we did not identify any controls, but should we have, we would have reported them in that report. The county does go above and beyond the financial reporting requirements. You could just do the basic requirements and submit an audit to the state and be done with it, but the county goes above and beyond and has for many years by completing an annual comprehensive financial report as prescribed by the Governmental Financial Officers Association. And that's just a program that's outside of the basic requirements, includes some additional information that provides statistical information, additional analysis at the front that gives the reader some more detail and some context when looking at the financial statements to better understand the county's financial condition, and some trend information to understand the county's finances. So the county did present last year's audit report and the financial report to the GFOA for evaluation in this program, and did receive the certificate of financial achievement in financial reporting for the 31st consecutive year. And don't want to take that lightly. Only 20, at the point that I did this presentation, 27 counties in Georgia, only 27 counties had received that award so far. And I look back to 2023 and it's just a little over 30 had. So not very many counties put together this report, so it is definitely an achievement for the county. A third report we do issue is not so much as a report as far as it is communications we do provide to the counties, governance, which is you, the county commissioners, that do provide some additional disclosure. Just to hit a few of those significant accounting policies, it does provide in there where to find those significant accounting policies, which is mainly note 1 in the financial statements. This year the county did implement a new GASB standard, which is GASB 101, overcompensated absences. In your financial statements, management has to estimate a liability for compensated absences, which is the county's accrued leave for PTO, vacation, sick time, those type of vacation leave. GASB decided they wanted to change how you account for those this year, and the county, not just the county, but all governments had to change how they account for those, and the county did reevaluate that liability under those new standards. It did increase the liability because it required an increase in the liability for sick leave and how the county accounted for sick leave, so they did reevaluate that and presented that liability in accordance with the new standard. No disagreements with management, always very cooperative, getting information not only from, we have to deal with the finance office, but we also have to deal with the other offices throughout the county, the water system, the sheriff's office, tax commissioner, courts. We have to interact with a lot of different departments. Everyone gets us what we need, so no disagreements or any difficulties with that. If we had any uncorrected misstatements that were of an unmaterial nature, we would have to report those to you. There were no uncorrected misstatements. Anything that came up during the audit was addressed. And we are required to be independent as far as doing the audit. I could not serve as a county commissioner and do the audit, and I couldn't serve in management and do the audit. And so we have to, me and my team have to be independent in that regard, and also I can't perform services for the county that would impair my independence. So an example of that would be I could not dictate to Cheryl and her team how to account for something and then come back and audit it. So there is limits to what services I can provide to the county, so we have to maintain that independence as far as I'm not auditing my own work. So we are independent, and we do ensure that we maintain that independence throughout the year. Just quickly, at this point, this financial data is in the rearview mirror for you, and you've seen much more recent data. But looking at a snapshot, just that center column is your current year total revenues for fiscal year 2025. End of the year with $79,745,000 in total revenues and just $76,048,000 in total expenditures. And then your other financing sources and uses, mainly that's transfers in, transfers out, and then just a little bit of proceeds from the sale of any capital assets. Total that net transfer out of $3.7 million. Most of that's going to your capital projects fund to purchase infrastructure additions, equipment purchases, that type of thing. That's where most of that goes, and then some other goes to other funds. But the net of that as it transfers out. Ending the year with a slight decrease in fund balance, very minor amount of $25,000. Ending the year with just over $31 million in fund balance. Very hard to see those words from where you're sitting, but that's just a pie chart of the breakdown of the expenditures of the general fund. Very similar to prior year presentation. That very large gray slice is public safety, very comparable to other counties. Most of the time it's somewhere between 40 to 50% of general fund expenditures is spent on public safety. That can fluctuate. Fayette County has some of your public safety expenditures and other funds for your fire fund, EMS, so that can fluctuate from county to county based on the structure of funds. Some counties have those special districts, some don't, but it normally runs in that 40 to 50. Public works at about 15%, and your general government at 17%. Looking at fund balance for the last 5 years, it does look a little alarming that you have that big spike, but a lot of that was triggered by ARPA. In 2020, the county did receive, or in 2021, the county received ARPA funding, and under that funding, the county was allowed to supplement public safety salaries with ARPA funding, so you did see a reduction in general fund expenditures by that supplementation of ARPA funding, so that's where that fund balance did spike up, and we've just leveled back out to where we started. So fund balance has leveled back out to the $31 million range, which is back out to where we started prior to ARPA. This is just your SPLOS investments over the last 5 years. Just looking at that last year, we did invest about $41 million in SPLOS expenditures for the year, so that's all 3 SPLOS funds combined. Just using those SPLOS dollars to invest in the county's infrastructure and equipment, just putting that penny tax to work, making those investments. Again, thank you all for allowing our firm to perform the audit for Fayette County. We are always available for any questions from any of you individually or as a group, so I'd be happy to answer any now or in the future if you have any at a later date.
Anyone have any questions?
One comment.
Go ahead.
I think you're used to my comment by now, but one thing that gives the citizens and us confidence in you, since we're not CPAs, we're not finance people, is the peer review that you have to undergo. And if you could, just let everybody know a little bit about what the peer review is, so they'll understand a little bit more like
Yes.
we have the confidence.
Yes, every firm that does any kind of account or audit and advisory or audit and assurance services has to undergo a peer review. We actually just finished ours at the end of last year. It was submitted on the 30th of December. And what that means is another firm comes in, just like we come in and audit the counties, that firm comes in and audits our audit process. So they come in and they sample our audits, and they pull our audit files, they go through our risk assessment process, they go through our audit documentation to make sure everything we did on that selection of audits was done in accordance with the standards. So they pick some of my audits, they pick they kind of do a selection based on the portfolio of our audit practice. So they take a sample of my audit practice, my governmental practice, and they do a sample of those, and they look at different industry types, and then they review those, provide feedback. If we were not following standards, we would, just like the county would, we would get a less than a pass report. I am happy to report that we have a tentative pass report pending approval from the AICPA, but all of that has to go through approval process before anything's done.
Thank you. Anything else, gentlemen?
Yeah, if I could just, I just wanted to note. So we kind of hydroplane over the fact that this has been the 11th year. You know, when we look at the financial reporting and you look at the number of people that actually do that, that's 17% of all the counties in Georgia. If you look at a clean audit, we're probably even less than that. And if you look at 11 years straight, we're probably the only anomaly that's out there. So that is a direct reflection upon Cheryl and Amanda and Sergio and that whole crew. I think I call them Sergio. I think Jason's calling them the Oracle. But I will tell you that, working with the constitutional officers, working with election, all those different entities, it all comes together really, really well. We've got it down to a very fine tune, and Greg and his team comes in, and they do a really good job for us. But 11 years is a pretty big deal.
Even some governments getting their audits completed there's a lot of governments that are even delinquent getting their audits completed on. So.
I think the only thing I would take offense to when he said that they were all cooperative, I'm not sure if that was always true for Cheryl, but for everyone else, it was. So appreciate your work, Greg.
I want to thank Greg and his staff and Nichols Colley, and of course, it wouldn't be complete without the finance staff, which I want to thank. This would not happen without them, and I'm happy to say that this year I was able to turn it over to Amanda, so Amanda handled the audit this year for me, so I just sat back and played solitaire while she handled.
Oh, she did a great job. Wasn't this the first year we had it actually on time?
No, it is not. It's been on time the other years. But what basically they're trying to say, Rapson and Greg, is that finance department's amazing. So.
Anything else? Thank you very much, Greg. Appreciate it. Next on the agenda is public hearings. I'll turn it over to Debbie.
Thank you. Thank you for your attendance at this public hearing conducted before the Fayette County Board of Commissioners. The Fayette County zoning ordinance requires 2 public hearings for amendments to the zoning ordinance. The first of the 2 hearings is held before the Planning Commission and the second before the County Commissioners. This is the second of the public hearings for amendments and rezoning requests that are presented today. At each hearing, the board will listen to the concerns of those in favor and those opposed to the case being presented. The public hearing shall be conducted with 20 minutes provided for applicant and proponents and 20 minutes provided for opponents of an application for amendment. An applicant may reserve part of their allotted time for rebuttals. Staff will present the details of the request. After the presentation, the chairman will ask for those in support of the amendment to come to the podium and speak, and then he will ask for those in opposition to come to the podium to speak. Those with comments should keep their presentation brief, and groups should select a spokesperson so many different viewpoints will have the chance to be heard. When it is your turn to speak, please tell the board your name and address and direct your comments directly to and only to the board. Since these hearings are part of a permanent record, we ask that you speak clearly into the microphone so your comments are properly recorded and can be heard by those in attendance. Please complete the speaker card located on the podium so your name is spelled correctly for the record. The first item is agenda item number 5, an amendment to section 110-241. From time to time, the state makes changes to zoning procedure laws that the counties have to comply with. So this amendment is presented to reflect some changes in state zoning procedure law to change the advertising window for items that are advertised to be heard before the Zoning Board of Appeals, such that they will be published in the legal organ of the county at least 15 but not more than 45 calendar days prior to the date of the public hearing. The notice shall state the time, place, and purpose of the hearing. Staff recommends approval of this amendment. On December 4th, 2025, the Planning Commission heard the proposed amendment and voted unanimously 5-0 to recommend approval of the amendment as presented.
Thank you very much, Debbie. As this is a public hearing, I'll ask for those in the audience who would like to come forward and speak in favor of this amendment to the zoning ordinance to come forward at this time. Seeing none, then I'll ask those in opposition to this amendment to come forward. Seeing none, I'll turn it over to the board.
I move to approve the amendments to Chapter 110 zoning ordinance regarding Article 7 Zoning Board of Appeals, Section 110-241.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Well,
aye.
I'm
sorry, Charles, go ahead.
Dennis, no conflicts with state requirements? This is just a change of reducing the days, right?
That's correct.
So no conflict with state law. And secondly, I just found out the Planning Commission was voting on the ZBA and they have their own board. Did it go before the ZBA or is it required or not?
It won't go to the ZBA because this is a zoning procedure that goes to Planning Commission and Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. County Attorney. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, serving as our chair. Thank you.
Sorry to cut you off earlier, Charles.
No problem.
All right, motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And none opposed. Thank you very much. Debbie, next.
Yes, item number 6 is petition number 1368-25. However, as provided in section 110-298, if there is not a full board present at the public hearing, the petitioner may request to table the petition to the next Board of Commissioners public hearing, provided the petitioner requests to table the agenda item prior to the presentation. Only one such request may be made. So due to the lack of full board, the petitioner did submit a request to defer this petition to February 26, 2026 BOC meeting, and staff will handle the re-advertisement for the new date.
All right, so we don't need a public hearing. We don't need to ask for opposed.
You need a public hearing, just a motion to authorize
Just
the
a motion
tabling.
to table? All right, so we just need a motion to table until the 26th of February?
Move the table to February 26th.
I have a motion and a second. Any comment from the board? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Next is number 7.
Item number 7 is consideration of petition number 1370-25. This petitioner has elected to proceed with the hearing tonight. That is for parcel 0448013, Gene Allen Living Trust, Jerome Allen, power of attorney owner, request to rezone 6 acres from AR agricultural residential to R80 single-family residential. Properties located in land lot 249 and 250 of the 4th District and fronts on Antioch Road. Marlena, will you open the maps, please? The lot is a legal lot of record and meets or exceeds the requirements of the R80 zoning district. The future land use map designates this area as rural residential 3, which has a 3-acre minimum lot size. So the request to rezone to R80 is consistent with the future land use map and the comprehensive plan. The existing house is a legal non-conforming structure, but does not meet the dimensional requirements for R80 for building setbacks nor for minimum floor area. Therefore, staff recommends conditional approval of the request to rezone to R80. On December 4th, 2025, the Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend conditional approval of the request to rezone with conditions as made by staff. So the conditions are as follows. 1, the applicant shall obtain a variance to the minimum floor area requirement in R80 or make appropriate modifications to the house within 180 calendar days or before applying for any final plats or permits, whichever comes first. And 2, the applicant shall obtain a variance to the side yard setback requirement in R80 or make appropriate modifications to the house within 180 calendar days or before applying for any final plats or permits, whichever comes first. And the Planning Commission did recommend unanimously conditional approval.
Thank you, Debbie. At this time, I would invite those who are in favor of this rezoning to come forward. Or Debbie, do you have more for us?
So, no, this is just the current zoning.
Yeah,
It's
go ahead.
adjacent to an R80, and then this is the future land use map that supports the request.
Okay. Please, sir.
Yes, I'm Jerome Allen. My family is family land that we've owned all our life, and I have family that's going to live there, and we wanted it rezoned to the R80 for residential for my family to move into it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Say again? Yeah, just for the record, sir, are you okay with this coming before the board with only 4 members?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Charles. At this time, are there others who would like to speak in favor of the rezoning with the conditions? Seeing none, I would like to ask at this time if there are those opposed to the rezoning with the conditions. Seeing none, then I'll bring it back to the board.
I move to approve petition 137025 rezoning as outlined by Ms. Bell.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes. Jerome, if you don't mind going to the mic again. I can tell you that 2 of us met last week, and we talked about this, and the county attorney had a comment about it, and that was, this is 6 acres of land. That's what's been represented to me based on the paperwork that I've got. And the minimum size lot has got to be 3 acres. I don't know if there's going to be any reduction in the land whenever you do this rezoning that you're asking to do. And that was the question that I wanted to address is, do we have a situation where he may be finding himself in a situation where he's got a non-conforming lot, he gets it rezoned, if it's 3 acres for one and 2.9 acres on the other, is there a problem for him?
Commissioner Maxwell, my initial concern was sometimes when property is represented as 6.00 acres, it's not. It's 5.9 or something along those lines. And when you say your zoning is 3-acre minimum, you can't get 2 3-acre lots out of 5.99. That's my big concern. However, I didn't see anything that's part of this as a condition for there to be any dedication of right-of-way. That would have caused less property to be able to subdivide. In that situation, if we were looking at dedication of property for right-of-way, the county would not take the position that you don't have 3 acres because the county is the reason you don't have the 3 acres. However, the question remains, is it 6.00, and only the survey is going to be able to tell, and that would create the 2 3-acre lots.
Right, and I don't know if it's 6.00, if it's 6.25, but I have a concern for you. I don't want you to go through this process. I'm going to vote for it, but you could find yourself in a position that the lot's not big enough, because the ordinance for R80 is real clear. It's got to be a 3-acre lot for it to be a legal lot. So I'm willing to vote for it, but I just want to make sure that you're doing this knowing what you're doing.
Yes, sir, I understand, and
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to make sure that you are okay with the conditions that are specified by the planning commission as well as our staff, those 2 conditions?
The variances? Yes, sir, I am.
That you have to get those variances? Okay. All right.
So are we in the same predicament as Eric was suggesting, that the lot currently doesn't conform, but to make it conform, it could go over 3 acres? You follow what I'm asking?
I do.
Okay.
We're not talking about a conforming issue with respect to less than the minimum lot size. We're talking about going to R80, the setbacks are going to be an issue.
Yeah.
And with respect to this zoning district, the only way that this board could approve it is if, in fact, one of 2 things occurred. Either a variance was obtained or the existing structure was modified to respect the setbacks.
Yeah.
And as long as one of those 2 things occur, it would no longer be non-conforming, or it would be not an illegal lot. It would be legal in all respects.
Hence the condition to bring it up to.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure. So in the event that the variances are not approved, does this remain AR, or what's our next step?
If the variances are not approved, the way the condition reads is that the structure must be modified to respect the setback requirements, whatever that means. Take off 3 feet on the side or the corner, something along those lines. Absent the variance, that would be necessary.
Yeah, just wanted to get that out there. Okay. Any other discussion from the board? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Agenda item number 8 is petition 1371-25. Again, per section 110-298, due to a lack of a full board, the petitioner has submitted a request to defer this petition to February 26, 2026.
All right, then, gentlemen, do I have a motion to table?
Motion to table February 26th.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Agenda item number 9 is petition 1372-25A. Per section 110-298, due to a lack of a full board, the petitioner has submitted a request to defer this petition to February 26, 2026.
Again, may I have a motion to table?
Motion to table February 26th.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none? Okay, Debbie, go ahead.
Sorry. Agenda item number 10, petition 1372-25B, per section 110-298, due to a lack of a full board, the petitioner submitted a request to defer this petition to February 26, 2026.
Again, motion to table, gentlemen?
Motion to table February 26th.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And agenda item number 11, petition 1373-25, per section 110-298, due to a lack of a full board, the petitioner has submitted a request to defer the petition to February 26, 2026.
May I have a motion?
Motion to table February 26th.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Looks like February 26th is going to be a busy meeting. All right, next on the agenda is, thank you very much, Debbie. Next on the agenda is public comment. Speakers will be given a 5-minute maximum time limit to speak before the Board of Commissioners about various topics, issues, and concerns. Speakers must direct comments to the board, and responses are reserved at the discretion of the board. At this time in the audience, are there any that would like to come forward for public comment? Please come forward to the mic, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Board. My name is Jonathan Bonner. I just want to introduce myself. I am running for State House 68, and I just want to say thank you for all you do for the community, and I can't wait to work with you guys because people don't forget I send the money back when you get those grants and things like that. So I want to introduce myself. I would love to talk to you all, and you guys have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Bonner.
Thank you.
Are there any others who would like to speak? All right, this time I'll close public comment. And next on the agenda, is the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. There is no old business, so I will move on to new business. Agenda item number 27 is consideration of an annexation notification from the City of Fayetteville regarding a request to annex 3 parcels. Parcels 045025, 045003, 046011, located at Highway 85 North and between Highway 85 and Highway 314, Fayetteville. A total of 242 plus or minus acres located in land lots 198, 199, 200, 201, and 216 of the 5th District, fronting on State Road 85 North and State Road 314, and I'll turn it over to Debbie.
Thank you. The City of Fayetteville has received a Step 2 request for annexation of the above referenced properties, and the applicant proposes to rezone to LI, which is light industrial, and business park under the Fayetteville zoning ordinance. So the current county zoning, we're getting the maps up for this now, but what's now has Fun Spot is zone CH, and their proposal for that is LI, which is similar in some respects to the CH, and it is anticipated that Fun Spot would continue. And then the other parcels located on 85 North. So you can see the parcel to the right, to the east of Highway 85 is the Fun Spot parcel. And then the other parcels are across the street from that, in between Georgia 85 and Georgia 314. So here's the current zoning. You can see Fun Spot parcel is red, CH. The larger parcel in between 85 and 314 is already zoned M1 under county zoning, and the smaller parcel is zoned OI. So there's just an outline of the general area to be annexed. This is the county's future land use map showing the Fun Spot parcel is commercial with a lot of floodplain, which is shown in green. And then the other parcel, future land use map, designates light industrial and office. So the proposed land use and zoning under the City of Fayetteville are similar to the county's future land use designations. There are some differences. There are no specific points of objection from county staff, except that the fire department does have concerns about loss of revenue. Environmental health supports the request because connection to public sanitary sewer will alleviate issues with the current septic system serving this Fun Spot development. The city's public hearings are for January 27th, 2026 to be heard before their Planning and Zoning Commission, and February 19th, 2026 to be heard by the mayor and city council. So staff has presented this assessment of the property and potential concerns. There are no specific objections from staff, from Planning and Zoning either. The staff's opinion that this annexation request does not warrant an objection under OCGA 36-36-113.
Thank you, Debbie. And members of the board have any questions or comments for Debbie before we get a motion? All right, may I have a motion then?
We don't have any reason to object, so I will make a motion not to object.
Do I have a second? Have a motion and a second. Discussion?
What are they going to use the property for? Do you know?
They've said business park, which could be any number of things. It does also, their business park zoning does also allow a data center. I know that's been a question that a lot of people have had, so I assume that that's a possibility. That would be the larger parcel in between, keep looking for the map, 85 and 314, which is just north of Roberts Road and is already zoned light industrial, so it does not abut any residential zoning immediately there.
Is this in conjunction with the fun spot, or is that just happens to be in the same location?
All of the parcels have been submitted as a collective annexation request, which is the appropriate way to do that so that they don't create an island.
Okay, I understand that. Has it got anything to do with the fun park? Or do you know?
I don't know that there's a plan to expand the fun park because the zoning proposed for the parcel between 85 and 314 is a different zoning, which wouldn't necessarily support the outdoor recreation center, fun spot type of development.
I'm just trying to, because it's on both sides of a major highway.
Right.
And that's the concern that I've got. It's on both sides of the highway. And if they're building something where they're going to have access with both sides of the highway, it's going to create a problem, a traffic problem. But, you know, evidently that wasn't something that anybody brought up or said. I mean, all I know is it said, pass this. I just feel like I don't have a lot of information to make a decision one way or the other, you know, whether to object or not object. I just don't know. I mean, that's where I find myself when, you know, this one looks like it's probably go through. They're going to keep the same zoning. Well, that's good. But what kind of problem is it going to create? I had a phone call earlier today, and somebody called, and they were against this, and they said, we're against data centers. And I said, well, I bet the word data center is not in this package. So I don't know whether it's a data center or not.
I don't know what the specific use would be.
You know, we've got a big data center going in the middle of the county right now, and quite frankly, I think that's probably a pretty good thing. I know that may be a minority opinion from a lot of folks, but when it happened, and it happened big, and I think it's going to be a good thing for Fayette County the rest of as far as getting in. I know we've had controversy about data center up there kind of in this same area within the last 6 months or so. And if it's a data center, then I think we need to know it's a data center. That's the problem with not knowing much about this. I mean, can anybody help me?
Phil, how far would you yield, my colleague?
Yeah, certainly.
How far does our future plan construction along SR 85 come down with respect to the fun park? That might give us a, you know, what traffic impacts we might have, Eric. Because we're supposed to be doing construction in that area, correct?
It does not extend that far south.
Okay.
It goes just a few hundred feet south of Corinth Road.
Okay. So again,
Is the fun park being annexed because it has to be in order to annex the other side? Is that what it is?
I
So there's
think
no
I
island?
think that's a fair assessment because otherwise they wouldn't have the proper connectivity for an annexation.
I got a couple of comments, and one of the problems that the county has is if we can't find a reason to object, it's pointless to object because we go to arbitration and we lose. But a couple of concerns that hit me right away. Eric touched on them. We're not comfortable with the impacts to transportation in that area. They haven't done a study. And they're annexing how big a piece of property, 50 acres or something. We just had an issue with a distribution center up there. I hope, and I conveyed to Fayetteville, I hope they do impact studies. I hope they study the transportation situation and make the adjustments that they have to make, because right now the county is spending, what, 10, 12, 14 million dollars up in that area there to fix the traffic. And I hate to be blindsided now by a development in Fayetteville that we weren't anticipating. And I hope Fayetteville is hearing that and will listen to that. Yeah, there's just not enough information for that. And then, again, I hope they, even though, I mean, I will not object tonight, I hope they will look at our land use plan and try and not change it, which they can do once the property is rezoned. And I'm banking on them hearing me tonight. Keep it the way it is and don't do anything that is going to throw the county land use plan into a tailspin, because we're trying really hard to maintain Fayette County. And we seem to be getting an annexation requests every month now. It's getting very difficult to monitor what's going on. This is just, we're not looking at one isolated annexation here. We've got several going on. So I'm a little hesitant. I don't have a reason I can't vote to object, not to object, but I do want my concerns conveyed to Fayetteville. I hope they're listening.
Dennis, has this got a time limit on it? Do we have to object to it with a certain time period?
Yeah, the objection time frame used to be so small, 10 to 15 days. That's been expanded to, I believe it's 30 days now, but it's still a brief time frame in order to put together any type of an objection. You do have more time now, but still the substantive basis for an objection is still defined by law as to what's objectionable, but you do have some time.
Well, because I see that it was filed on December 19th. That's the date it was filed, I think, with the city of Fayetteville. I don't know when we got it, or when our time period runs or anything like that. We are short one person here, and he may have an opinion. I don't know. Because generally we don't vote against our departments. When the department recommends it, we listen to what they have to say. Generally, 98% of the time. Sometimes we object. But I'm just not comfortable not knowing enough about to say don't object. And so, but I think we've got a board that right now we've got maybe a 2-2. We could have a 3-1 one way. But if we had,
Well,
we could have our next meeting in 2 weeks and still.
I think what you have is you have an annexation request that is consistent with our zoning, and so our basis for denying it would be they're not going to follow the land use plan or the zoning we currently have. If a data center is a concern of this board, they could do that under our zoning. They're not changing the zoning on this, and so that's what's before you tonight. I think a lot of times when you're looking at a zoning, a lot of times you have a final plat and there's like, this is what we plan to do. In this particular regard, I don't think they really have to provide anything to us. I think data center kind of triggers everybody because you look at it and go, oh, a data center can go here. But in the reality of the matter is a data center could go there under our existing zoning if they chose to do that. And if they did it within the setbacks and everything associated with our zoning, it wouldn't come before this board for approval either. And I think that's what you have in front of you tonight is a land use. And that's one of the reasons why you don't have an objection from staff, because there is no warranted basis that we could do an objection based on land use.
Debbie, we may need to, or you may need to help me out, not tonight. Study data center. Is it in one of our zoning ordinance, the word data center?
It is in OI, Office Institutional Zoning.
And so the way we can partly address this is we can remove the words out of that zoning and we can give it its own zoning. I'm just speculating outside the box because this is a very controversial area, and if we disagree with Fayetteville and Fayetteville can do it because it's under our zoning, you're going to have the possibility data centers going someplace you don't want, is all I'm saying. And that's where my concern comes, is we just don't know. And I think Fayetteville is doing exactly what the law allows them to do, and that is to not tell us what they're doing with the property. And that's a cause of concern. Right. Well, I just don't know. I mean, tell me it's going to be part of the play park. Okay, well, I understand that. Tell me it's going to be a truck stop where trucks can spend. We've done that. We understand it. I know one thing. We had a lot of controversy on the data center 6 months ago. I don't think we want to get ourselves in that. And if we don't say anything, then we don't say anything, and it's going to go up there. We get blamed for the QTS already, and that's not even in, it's in the county, but it's in the city of Fayetteville. But we're the ones that get yelled at.
Eric, one thing, I thought, Debbie, that I heard that Fayetteville had a moratorium on data centers. Could you check that?
I can check that, yes, sir.
For last year, I thought that they, when I was talking to Councilman Hoffman, I thought that he mentioned that they were restricting them or putting a moratorium on or something, so.
I don't know. We did just receive a DRI notice for expansion of the QTS data center.
Yeah. Well, the problem with this, though, is they can rezone it, and they can tell us one thing and still do another. So I don't have that confidence yet. Sorry, Fayetteville. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, Steve, we work very closely with the city of Fayetteville on a lot of issues, correct?
A lot of issues, yes.
Were we given any sort of advance notice that this was coming, or was there any dialogue between the county and the city before this was just presented as a fait accompli?
Well, they sent us to step one, and we gave them our feedback on that, on land use. But again, we don't really have any final plat designs or anything that basically said what this was going to be, other than we intend to use it as the same land use. If you go out to their website, there's some sketchings out there, and they could be warehouses, they could be a data center, there could be a lot of things. When someone sees a big uniform building that has 4 corners, they just assume the worst. And so I have no personal knowledge that a data center is being proposed for this area at all.
Okay. Yep. Unfortunately, I have no material basis for an objection as well, and as the law is pretty clear on this. I wish I did. And I also wish that we could get a little bit more advance notice about what the city of Fayetteville is planning before it's simply presented to us, but unfortunately we don't in every case. So at that time, is there any other discussion from the board?
Yeah,
Charles?
a couple of comments. One of the things I think I heard you, Debbie, mention, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there were no residential properties, if you will, adjacent to this proposed annexation or acreage. And there are. I'm here to tell you, there are neighbors on the rear of the fun park that have at times complained about a number of things. Phil, you remember that they complained about the GPS leading buses full of people in the rear of the fun park not coming off of State Route 85. So there are residents that are behind the fun park. My concern is that we do have a couple of issues, and I don't want to combine them. I'm going to be careful and use some cautionary language. I'm very pleased to hear that my colleague on the end is very open to some language review going forward, and I think that's critically important for us to look at that, because the proliferation is dotting the landscape. And while I'll say the city certainly may not know when somebody's going to come to them and ask for it, we're back to this issue that I've been raising, I guess, and all of us to a certain degree recently, which is I wish when we are about to do our comprehensive plan, all of us would sit down collectively and look at these corridors where things wouldn't impact residential, wouldn't negatively impact the quality of life in some communities. And I don't know what doors we may be opening, because we've had applications recently just north of there that are on hold. And I don't know if this becomes a precursor, and then it's just dotting the landscape. I think one is Corinth, and the other one is up by the river, the creek bed. So I have some very serious concerns and reservations, and a large portion that happens to be my district, so you can understand that I would receive a number of phone calls with respect to people not knowing what's going on. It's very difficult and frustrating for my neighbors, for me to have to say to my neighbors, I can't speak about what the city's going to do. Unfortunately, a lot of folks don't have challenges understanding the differences between our responsibilities and our powers. So I'm very concerned about this being a word Eric doesn't like, a precedent-setting initiative when other things are in that corridor that are leading in that direction, or give me the opinion it's leading in that direction towards data centers. I think QTS probably has some good to it. The DRI was mentioned. I don't know until we really get a feel of the water usage, electricity and power usage. I don't know. Those are the things my neighbors ask, but I can't answer because it's still under construction. And so I have some very serious reservations of why we may have some limitations with respect to what we can object to. I am going to object to this and ask again that our partners sit at the table and let's begin to look at this comprehensive plan differently than we might have done before. Those are my comments, Mr. Chair. I appreciate it very much.
On page, after the maps, is the page that I'm going to. After the maps is the page that I'm going to. I don't see a page number for me to yell out. It's page 654. 654 is the notice, I think, that Fayette County, or Fayetteville sent to us, and that's where I quoted the December 19th, and it says notification sent December 31st. I don't know what the date of receipt is. Is it a 30-day period? Is that what we're working with? You think that's what we're working with?
To the best of my recollection, Commissioner McElroy, it's just 30 days.
Do you know, did we receive it on the 31st, or did we, that's right at the beginning of the year, and, you know, New Year's, and maybe we got it on the 5th. I don't know when we got it. Because I'm more than happy to make a motion to table if we can have another meeting before the time period runs out, and that may bring all 5 of us together to talk about it.
According to the records, Finance has this stamped as received January 2nd.
January 2nd. So I think that'd be February 1st or so is the 30th day. When's our next meeting? February 12th? So doing a motion to table doesn't do you any good anyway. So I guess you got your motion, and I'd ask that you repeat the motion so I'm clear. I think Chuck's motion is that he says don't deny it.
Don't object.
Don't object. And so.
Yeah, and as I understand this, Dennis, if Commissioner Otto's motion fails, this goes to arbitration.
Well, if Commissioner Otto's motion fails, I'd ask for another motion to find out what the board's position is. And in the event that it's still a 2-2 deadlock, or if it becomes a 2-2 deadlock, that in effect would be no vote, no objection, and it would go straight to City of Fayetteville for annexation and rezoning.
Okay, then I'll call the question on Commissioner Otto's motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? It's 2-2, so is there another motion? There's not another motion, so no vote by the board, then I guess is the verdict there, Dennis.
No vote by the board means you have not lodged an objection. That means City of Fayetteville moves forward.
Okay, thank you very much. And we'll move on to agenda item number 28, which is a request to appoint Media Construction as construction managers at risk for the Animal Shelter Phase 2 project in the sum of $292,500. I'll turn it over to Tim Simons.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. As you're aware, the Animal Shelter Phase 2 is currently under the design phase. We're kind of just getting to the end of design development, and we felt it was a prudent time for us to look to appoint a construction manager to help us with finishing out the design phase and also maybe value engineering the overall scheme as well to make sure we get the best value of it. We went through a process assisted through the purchasing department. We had 5 good returns back. Those were scored by the evaluation committee, and through that process, Media Construction came out on top. So I'm here to ask for approval to appoint them as construction managers at risk for this project.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. Any questions, Tim?
I do a question.
Go ahead.
Tim, I just One, you're confident, obviously, everybody must be confident that Meja
Meja, yeah.
can handle the recreation center and this project at the same time?
Yes, sir. They did over $275 million in contracts last year, and they told me that they've actually got a whole of $170 million worth of contracts to fill for 2026. So they have the capacity.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Then do I have a motion to approve or disapprove?
Move to approve to appoint Meja Construction as construction managers at risk.
Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Number 29 is a request to award bid number 26074-B 2017 SPLOST Stormwater Category 2 Tier 2 21 SAJ Cross Creek Trail Culvert Replacement to the lowest responsible bidder, which is Helix Grading and Utility LLC, in the amount of $734,625.85, and to transfer $35,066 from 17 SAS Stormwater Improvement Plans Cat 4. Go ahead.
Good evening. Yes, just a little background that Cross Creek Trail right now is failing 4 72-inch corrugated metal pipes, and we will be replacing them with a double 9x9 concrete box culvert.
Okay. And this was lowest cost. Is that correct, Steve? This was lowest cost, technically acceptable?
Yeah, you have the bids on
Yeah.
page 693, yes, lowest,
Okay.
most responsive.
All right, do I have a motion?
Move to approve award bid number 2607B 2017 SPLOST to Helix Grading and Utility LLC.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Thanks very much. Number 30 is a request to award bid number 26029-B Alum System Improvements to Bar Environmental Supply Incorporated in the amount of $229,850. Vanessa.
This is part of our larger SCADA upgrade project. Right now, operators have to go away from the SCADA system, away from the main building into the alum feed system building, and monitor everything by hand or eyesight there, run back and adjust it, other feed systems in the main operating room. What this does is it hooks up the alum feed system to our SCADA system so they can operate it from SCADA itself.
Okay. Any questions of Vanessa?
Will this pay for itself over time?
Yes. By operating more efficiently and using the correct amount of chemicals. The alum can be expensive, making sure that we operate all those pumps correctly and so that we're operating efficiently. That'd be great.
Okay. All right, do I have a motion?
Move to award bid number 26029B to Alum System Improvements to Bar Environmental Supply.
Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, motion carries.
Thank
And then thank you very much, Vanessa. You're up next.
I'm next.
Yeah, you're up next. All right. 31 is a request to approve change order number 1 to contract 2563-B on-call annual contract for water distribution and stormwater infrastructure, task order number 2, 10-inch main at Kenwood Road and Morning Creek Bridge in the amount of $362,775 to repair the water distribution line on Kenwood Road at Morning Creek. Vanessa.
In July 2024, we had a main break at Morning Creek on our 10-inch line. Finally, when we awarded our on-call this past July, that was one of the first task orders is to repair this large main break. In that, the 10-inch line there on Kenwood serves as one of our main loop lines from the Ellis Road tank over to the Highway 982 tank. And that line was initially installed in the early 1990s. When the Kenwood Road Bridge was built in 2010 using 2004 SPLOST funds, we had, it's in trellis, the water line is trellised over Morning Creek and then is buried deep along Morning Creek and then crosses under Kenwood Road. When the bridge was built, the line was not moved or improved. And at that time, then the line was about 6 feet deep. With the bridge improvement and rebuild, it became greater than 10 feet deep below. So what we discovered in trying to repair this last fall, this line, that it was very deep, very close to the road, and it was becoming a safety concern to repair in that manner. So we went back and rethought about the repair, and it was finalized that we should go ahead and bore under Morning Creek and bore away from the road, Kenwood Road, and then cross under Kenwood at some distance up away from the bridge approach.
Okay. And since this is on-call, this is just a change order to our current on-call contract that we have with this company, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve change order number 1 to contract 2563 B on-call annual contract.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'm glad this issue's come up. You can imagine how frustrated my neighbors are calling me about the time that it's taken to do this, the safety concerns, and this has been weeks on end, seeing a idle piece of equipment out in the community wondering, are we not nimble enough to get something done in a more timely manner? And so I'm glad to see this is on the list. I know it's hard, but can you give me a timeline of when we think it will take? Because they've been sitting out there for a while. They created a very serious safety issue on that bridge. And thanks to Public Works for putting out the barriers and creating a different circumstance out there. But any idea on the timeline? I know that's a dangerous, loaded question.
It is.
How quickly do you think you can get the contractors out there? Let me ask it that way.
It's all very dependent on the number of emergency main breaks that we have, because that's the same on-call contractor that is doing this work.
So now I have even more concern. Are they capable of doing the work? Because we've been idly sitting by waiting for the work for some time. Where can we be on the priority list is the question I have, I guess.
This is the number 1 priority. This was the first task order under this contract. So they will be on it, barring any, they will be back on it, barring any other emergency breaks. And they are boring under the road, so it's a different crew.
Yeah.
So they will have additional crew out there.
You're aware they've been boring for a long time, right? Or at least digging the trench, if you will.
They initially dug in October, and they haven't been out there since.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't. All right, can you help me? And I'm just trying to get up.
I think your concern is the same concern we have. We have limited staff for this particular thing, so we went to a third party to expedite it, and this is the number 1 priority for that third party. That's what we're doing with this approval of this contract tonight.
All right. Let me know where we are on the priority list. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you.
Administrator's reports.
You do have a copy of the carbine contract, which we renewed, which is just the renewal of that particular contract in the budget. And then I do need a selection board. We had our appointment to the elections board has resigned effective January 30th. And so we'd like to go ahead and get a selection committee of the board made up, because that'll take us to a 2-member board, which is still a quorum, so they can still function, but we want to put it back at 3. This is our appointee to the elections board as it currently exists. So we'd like to go ahead and get the selection committee so we can go ahead and move through that process.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the
Yeah.
legislature to approve the request to go to 5. Once we get that, we'll be asking for 2 more, or going back through the process for 5.
Okay, I
Well,
don't mind helping.
I don't want to serve it, but I know your question was where it is, and it's saying we're waiting on them. Any indication for that? Have they advanced it to a committee or whatever?
We've had several communications.
Thank you.
One as most recently as yesterday as a
Thank you.
follow-up, and it's an open invitation to all of the members of the local delegation we're willing to go sit down with them, answer questions, provide more information. They have draft legislation, they have the publisher's affidavit, everything that they need. And the last follow-up is to do phone calls after yesterday's communication, just to see if there's some way we can, move the ball along, so to
Sure.
speak. I've no evidence that it's been dropped in the hopper yet. I'm looking
Okay.
for it, don't see it. As soon as I get an update, I'll let you know what that is.
And it's only week 2, so.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Attorney and Mr. Administrator. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Attorney's reports?
Well, we need you to make a selection committee for that.
Oh, yeah. But can I have a motion to approve Commissioner Maxwell and Commissioner Rousseau for the selection committee to appoint the county commissioners member to the Board of Elections?
So moved.
A second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Attorney's reports.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have 3 items this evening for executive session, 2 involving threatened litigation, and 1 is to review your executive session minutes from January 8, 2026. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Dennis. Commissioners' reports. Go ahead, Dennis. Or
Eric. I don't know what it was, about a year or 2 ago, this board was asked to do something about shower heads and stuff like that for some kind of water thing. I don't know what it was. They wanted us to agree to it, and at least 2 of us were very loud about that and said, we ain't going to do it. Mm-hmm. And evidently, our president heard us, because this last week, you can have whatever kind of shower head you want now. They reversed that awful thing that said you could only get so many gallons per minute to take a shower. I think tomorrow morning when you get up to go take a shower, you should take a long one.
Going to Home Depot.
Go to Home Depot.
Thanks, Eric. Anything else, gentlemen?
Say as a sidebar, I think all of you all may have received an email from some concerned residents about the petition tonight on 314. And their concerns was, how can it keep going on and on in their time limit? Just so those listening are aware, it was tabled at the request of the applicant. Therefore, we traditionally don't have many objections to a table, especially if the applicant asks for it. In this particular instance, because we didn't have a full complement of board members, I think was one of the reasons. So I just wanted those who are interested in this particular project to understand why it's continuing yet again. Thank you.
Yeah, one thing. I just want to congratulate and thank everybody in finance and our county manager and all involved in the audit report. Again, that is really an accomplishment, and it's easy to say 11 or however many years it's been, but to get it every year is quite something. So we're proud of that group, and I want to thank them again. And I'm sure people are aware, but the weather forecast is iffy. It isn't all that good, so just be careful when you're out this weekend. I guess it's coming in Sunday is the latest, but be careful. We could have some ice out there.
Thanks, Chuck. I just would like to have a couple of comments here. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Beckwith and Mr. Culbreth for their long-term service to the county. Anytime we have citizens who are willing to serve on the various county boards, commissions, committees, et cetera, it is really gratifying to see the quality of the people that step up, and certainly somebody who was here for over 30 years, like 30 years like Mr. Beckwith, and 12 years like Mr. Culbreth. It just represents a great example of public service for every citizen in the county. I'd also like to thank Cheryl and Steve and the finance staff for their great work. This is the 11th clean audit we've had, and I think, as was mentioned by Steve, I don't know that there's another county in the state that has had 11 clean audits in a row. So well done to Steve, Cheryl, and your staff. Finally, just like to make a couple of comments. I just returned from Poland, where I was training the commander and staff of the 2nd Battalion, 34th Armor. These men and women are over there in some very cold temperatures in snow and ice, and we did some training on how to plan and conduct combat operations. And I can tell you that I came in the Army over 40 years ago, and the men and women that are currently serving our Army are absolutely just as good or better than the soldiers I served with over my 27 years in the service. So I just wanted to assure the citizens that their Army is still in great hands. And with that, may I have a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you for pulling that up.